Hello and welcome to the third quarter Sheriff's Roundup for 2015. I'm Sheriff Bill Brown, coming to you this time from Hope School in Santa Barbara, which we are pleased to say is one of several new schools whose students will benefit from the DARE program this year. For the first time in more than a decade, and thanks in part to a generous $35,000 donation from the Sheriff's Benevolent Posse, the Sheriff's Office was able to help fund another DARE instructor to teach the new and improved DARE program at schools in the South County for the first time in more than a decade.
The DARE program most people think of as drugs and alcohol resistance education. And yes, those are some of the elements of it. But it's really changed over the last 10 years to be a program that teaches good decision making. And also learning that the triangle of the school administrators, law enforcement, and the parents are all there to support a child who may get into a difficult circumstance and need somebody to go to.
This curriculum, I think, is the best. The kids seem to really enjoy it. They get involved. Seeing them enjoy doing it, it just makes me feel good because I want kids that I'm teaching to do well. And I think this program is going to help them do that.
There could not be a more critical time to have DARE at our schools. Here's a look at what impact DARE is having.
To laugh often and much, to win the respect of intelligent people, and to endure the betrayal of false friends, to really know that even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is to have succeeded.
I'm Deputy Leslie Avila from the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Department, and I am blessed to be the DARE officer for Santa Barbara County.
A DARE program has been with our school for 5 years and it is absolutely awesome. I love having Deputy Avila on our campus. She is so loving to our kids.
DARE is a 10-week program. It starts out with learning to be safe and responsible and what it means to be responsible. They're required to do a 38-page book. They do it all. They are learning about alcohol and tobacco facts. They learn about risk-taking and consequences of those risks. They learn to be safe and responsible. They learn confident communication skills, listening skills, peer pressure, both good and bad. They learn about bullying. They learn how to be a good citizen and help other students that are not as confident as they are. And finally, they learn to build a help network that shows them that there are people all around them that care about them and want them to grow up safe and healthy.
Michael Ariola.
I really like the DARE program because it's fun and it encourages us to make the right choices.
It can be either. How about a big round of applause for her? Good job.
I believe it gives them that opportunity to stop and think and use the tools that they have been given in the DARE program, especially with peer pressure. It'll help them to make those choices in the long run.
This generation of students are facing new challenges that are completely different than when we grew up. They need guidance and help from someone that can give them the tools and skills necessary to make the right choices.
I actually like the DARE program so much I made a necklace.
Thank you, Leslie and Jerry, for the valuable work that you're doing with Santa Barbara County's most important asset, our young people. If you are interested in helping support the DARE program, or for more information on the Sheriff's Benevolent Posse, please go to www.sbsheriffsposse.org.
My son, Michael Moore, he was a great kid. He loved his family. He made the decision to get in that car that day.
There's nothing more powerful than hearing directly from someone whose life was forever changed by the bad decision to drink and drive. Marianne Moore, a mother who recently lost her 26-year-old son in a fatal DUI-related collision, courageously spoke at a press conference held at Sheriff's Headquarters, kicking off the Avoid the 12 summer mobilization DUI enforcement period. Marianne's son, Michael, was killed on June the 20th in the city of Goleta when he drove while intoxicated at a high rate of speed, lost control of his vehicle, and crashed into a tree. He was only a short distance from home when he made the tragic decision to drive.
I'm here because if I can stop one person from getting in the car when they've been drinking, then it makes this worth it to me. One mother, not to have to go through what I'm going through right now. My family's shattered by this loss.
We want to thank Marianne Moore for her willingness to share her grief in hopes that it may help others.
We want drivers to know that we do not tolerate drunk driving, and there's no excuses for it. Our strategy is to be visible, be vigilant, and let local motorists know that impaired driving is not an option. The message is simple and consistent: drive sober or get pulled over.
We want to remind you to report drunk drivers by calling 911. And also, if you know you're going to drink alcohol at an event, please make sure to plan ahead and arrange for a safe ride home. It's never too late to start making good choices, even for people who have a track record of making bad ones. For 5 years now, the day reporting centers in Santa Maria and Santa Barbara have been a place where former state prisoners could learn important life skills to help them re-enter society and avoid falling back into destructive patterns. The Sheriff's Office operates the centers in conjunction with our partner agency, Community Solutions Incorporated, under a contract from the State Department of Corrections and Rehabilitation. Former offenders are given instruction, counseling, and support. It was a proud moment for about 50 parolees who, after 10 weeks of classes, received their certificates of completion.
People did it for me, so it's only right to do it for people.
Graduation ceremonies were held in both Santa Maria and Santa Barbara. In Santa Maria, Leslie Camry, who made the news in 2012 when he barricaded himself in a residence with guns and engaged police in a standoff, was the keynote speaker.
When I woke up in county jail with $1 million bail and 9 felonies, and that was a low point in my life. Being here today and acquiring this goal of graduating this program, gaining the trust of my family, is a high point in my life. Everything was a byproduct of Community Solutions, and I can honestly say, without it, and this is, I can honestly say I may not have made it.
Leslie took a shot on himself. He saw that the staff was willing to invest in him, which convinced him to invest in himself. And from that day forward, we couldn't slow him down.
This program has basically proven in 5 years that with the right services, people can change their lives. And we had 694 graduates prior to tonight, and then all of tonight's graduates added to that group. Not only are their lives changed, but so are the lives of their families.
Best of luck to all the graduates, and thank you to everyone involved in this important program. You're helping to change lives and reduce repeat crime in our community. The Law Enforcement Explorer program is another great way to inspire and motivate people to choose the right path in life. This year, 24 young men and women, ages 14 to 20, from 5 different law enforcement agencies, participated in the Central Coast Law Enforcement Explorer Academy. The Sheriff's Office sponsored 4 of the recruits. These young people, exploring the possibility of careers in criminal justice, endured 2 weeks of both physical and mental challenges designed to teach the importance of teamwork, dedication, and service to others. The Explorers lined up on graduation day to receive their final inspection before receiving their certificates of completion at a formal ceremony attended by family and friends. The experience and camaraderie is not over on graduation day. The Explorers participate in competitions and other activities throughout the year. Congratulations to all of our Explorer graduates on a job well done. We also want to congratulate our recent Citizens Academy graduates. This group of Santa Barbara County residents from all walks of life spent 8 weeks getting a behind-the-scenes look at the Sheriff's Office. Here is City of Goleta Community Resource Senior Deputy Dave Valadez to tell us about some of what they experienced.
We had a few presentations, a few PowerPoints, but they were always conjoined with hands-on training. So they got to read and know about use of force, case law, and state law, but then they got to do handcuffing. They got to learn how to contact somebody, how to do it safely, the risks involved. They got to shoot firearms that the Sheriff's Department uses, so the AR, the shotgun, the pistol. They got to do building searches when we went over active shooter responses.
I wanted to know more about what it was really like to be in law enforcement. You really just don't have any idea about the sheer vast amount of knowledge they have to have about so many things. You really have to be here and see it firsthand, understand. so inspiring.
My perception on the sheriffs have changed tremendously. I learned so much in 8 weeks, and I really don't want it to end, so I wish it was longer.
You know, many people are coming in with the assumptions that they gain through social media and through popular media, and not realizing that that information is geared towards entertainment value. It's not geared towards accurate information, what the truth is. So for example, when they did firearms training, in the movies, you can hit a pistol out of someone's hand or shoot a knife out of someone's hand. But they learned very quickly that you're more likely to miss with that handgun than you are to hit with that handgun. So bringing it to that hands-on level makes that lesson all the more potent for them.
It was an eye-opener for me. As much as I already supported them, it made me realize how really difficult the job is.
Their minds, their assumptions, their beliefs, you just watch them change as they're getting accurate information involving training and how we handle calls. All that goes into being a deputy sheriff for the county of Santa Barbara.
We have some extraordinary, remarkable, dedicated professionals here in Santa Barbara. We are extremely fortunate, and I cannot imagine this academy being any better.
I learned that they're just basically here to talk to you and find out what is going on before they go into any action. They're actually really nice.
The K-9 is kind of like a microcosm just for the way all the deputies are. So we have the tools at our disposal, and the K-9 just brought that home. So you see the dog come and work with the handler, and the dog is being controlled just as any other use of force option, any other tool the deputy sheriff has at their disposal. The dog is being used to either, apprehend, hold, track, all these kind of things. And the dog can be changed in transition. So the dog can be sent to someone, charge at someone even, but then be told to sit, stay, or come back, and you'll see that dog just break contact. And I think that was very eye-opening for the citizens in this academy.
Thanks to all the participants in the Citizens Academy for taking time out of their busy schedules to learn more about what the Sheriff's Office does to keep the public safe. Thanks also to Senior Deputy Valadez for all the hard work you put in to making this an informative, memorable, and fun experience for everyone involved. A group of children at the Shumash Indian Reservation also got to learn more about the Sheriff's Office, thanks to a special summer camp event. Here is Deputy Alexander Michael Fuller with more on this special program.
Camp Cowls is a summer camp for tribal kids, so we designed Spend the Day with the Sheriffs. What we try to do is bring law enforcement and community-based policing and the Shumash together. The kids get to know the deputies if they've never met an officer before. They get to see the patrol cars. Deputy Patrick Hayes, who is our K-9 officer.
Do you guys have any ideas what police dogs do? Thanks for raising your hand. Sniff bombs. Very good.
We have one of our volunteers from the Sheriff's Department. He's here with his K-9 officer, Dusty. And then we're taking a bunch of kids up to our air support hangar and showing the kids what our Sheriff's helicopters look like.
My favorite part of today was hanging out with cool dogs. They had really cool dogs. I thought it was really outstanding and fun. I really liked it.
It gets them to interact with law enforcement because nowadays some kids are scared of cops. It gets them to ask questions if they've never met an officer or a deputy. If something ever happens to them or they're in, like stranger danger or the stranger comes up, they know they can trust us. And that's where you build the bond between the kids and law enforcement.
Thank you, Deputy Fuller, and everyone who helped to make this summer camp a great success. Now that school is back in session for Santa Barbara County, it's a great time to sit down and remind your child of important, potentially life-saving safety tips. Here's School Resource Deputy George Hedricks with this quarter's edition of Focus on Safety.
With school getting back in session, we wanted to cover some of the safety tips to keep them safe to and from school. There's a lot going on at the beginning of the new year. A new class, new teacher, new friends, maybe a new school. So the better job you can do going into the school year or in the first couple of weeks of school, establishing that route, teaching them the right places to go, giving them an idea of some safety tips or things they can do to better help themselves if they do get lost or scared or don't know where to go, the better off they're going to be and the more prepared they're going to be for the start of the school year. While your children are walking their routes to school, make sure to teach them not to approach strangers, not to stop for any vehicles or anybody they don't recognize or know unless they have a parent or a guardian with them. Encourage them to say no, to run away, or to get help if somebody does stop and ask them, hey, come get into the car, hey, what's your name? Really reestablish those very basic rules that we learn at a young age to get away from strangers, not to stop and talk to strangers, and definitely not to get any vehicles with strangers. It's important to teach your kids who they can talk to. Law enforcement, persons in uniforms, your firefighters, teachers, persons of reference that your children know, those are safe persons for me to go to if I need help. Also on the route to school, if you can establish a buddy system, a friend they can walk with, someone else in your neighborhood who is along that path that they can stop and join up with, it's always better if you can have them walk in pairs or walk with an older brother or sister or another sibling who also is on their way to school. If your son or daughter is riding their bike to school, be sure you talk to them about safety tips, not entering traffic, bike lanes, helmets, as we've all seen, it's very hectic in the mornings. So be sure to teach your kids good bike safety tips as well and make sure they're wearing the helmet for safety reasons. With social media and the internet being such a powerful tool, we really have to watch our children when they're using it. Be sure to check your security settings, monitor who they're talking with, what they're using, what sites they're on, and how it's being used at home. If for such a powerful tool, it also can be something that can be very dangerous for our kids if it's not monitored. So teach your kids not to give out their name, address, phone numbers to strangers or talk to people they don't know on their social media devices. They have access to the internet, they have access to the world. So be sure to monitor your security settings and teach them not to go on these sites or watch what sites they are going on to. As parents, we have to be sure to be vigilant and make sure we're protecting our children. Make sure you're reminding them of these things, even though some of them seem like they should be common sense. Go ahead and go over them with your children anyway.
Thank you, Deputy Hedricks. For a list of 25 tips that you can share with your child in 25 minutes, put together by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, please visit our website, www.sbsheriff.org. UCSB and Santa Barbara City College students, as well as the entire Isla Vista community, welcomed a new face to the Isla Vista Foot Patrol this fall. After a competitive selection process that involved input from the community, Senior Deputy James McCarroll was selected as the first ever Community Resource Deputy for Isla Vista.
There are a lot of good people in this community that are working hard to change things around here. And it's very important that the Sheriff's Department is involved in that process because our job's not only to enforce laws, it's to build communities and make them feel as though we're here for them. People have been reaching out to me since day one. They have been phenomenal. And I just simply can't stress how thrilled I am to be a part of this change and how important this change is going to be. I've had an opportunity to talk to members of the community, and now they're starting to understand why we do certain things, and that's just all communication. That's why I'm here, to open up that line of communication, to be that liaison, so everything will run smoothly between the Sheriff's Department and the community, and we can just keep trucking forward to achieve this goal.
Senior Deputy McCarroll is settling into his new assignment and has been busy attending community events in order to meet with as many groups and residents as possible. Good luck in your new role, James. The City of Carpinteria has a new Chief of Police Services. Residents had the opportunity to meet Lieutenant Mike Perkins at a Coffee with a Cop event held at Crush Cakes Cafe in Carpinteria.
It was an opportunity for me to come down and get a little acclimated to the folks in the town and a little bit of a passing the torch, if you will, between Brad and myself.
I think the Coffee with a Cop type events are critical. It's a good chance for us to learn what's important to the community. So it teaches us how to steer our resources, where we want to focus, our activities and what we focus on. At the same time, it's a chance for us to explain to the community what we're all about, what we're trying to accomplish.
At the event, Carpinteria residents also had the opportunity to thank and say goodbye to Lieutenant Brad McVeigh, who was Carpinteria's Chief of Police Services for 2 years and who retired after more than 30 years of service to the Sheriff's Office.
It's a nice chance for me to say goodbye to folks that I've been working with for the last couple of years. We've had quite a few people come by just to say thanks, which has been terrific.
Lieutenant McVeigh spent his last day on patrol and recently reflected on his rewarding career.
It's been an interesting career. I've had a lot of opportunities, a lot of challenges to overcome, a lot of rewards as a result. I can't say enough how much I've enjoyed working here, and the biggest part of that is just the people. And I think that's also the part I'm going to miss the most is working with some just amazingly and just incredible people. I'm tremendously honored to have had the opportunity to work here. 30 years is a long time, from a full-time perspective. This is my last day. I will probably not put this uniform back on, at least as a lieutenant. This will be my last day that'll happen. So, make it through today and look back on what's been a phenomenal career and a tremendous, lifelong opportunity.
Thank you, Brad, for all that you've done for the Sheriff's Office and for your community over the years. You'll be missed. We also want to thank Lieutenant Rob Wright, who retired after 25 years of service and has moved with his family to Japan, where they have now become missionaries. Rob, we wish you Godspeed as you serve in your new role. I also want to express our appreciation to Chief Deputy Laz Salinas, who recently retired after 27 years of service to the Sheriff's Office. Chief Salinas worked numerous assignments in his career, and most recently was the Chief Deputy in charge of custody operations. Chief Salinas was presented with his retirement resolution at a Board of Supervisors meeting. Laz, we have greatly benefited from your expertise, and we truly appreciate your dedication and professionalism. Best of luck in your new role as a criminal justice professor at Ventura Community College. Although we've lost some great sheriff's employees to retirement, fortunately, we have gained some terrific new ones to take their place. Nathan Flint, David Ashley, and Shaylin Green were recently hired as sheriff's deputies. On the custody side, we welcomed custody deputies John Heil, Sarjil Malik, and Jennifer Scher. We also welcomed 2 new dispatchers, Kathleen Barraza and Elizabeth Vega. Jennifer Brookshire was hired as the new parking enforcement officer in Isla Vista, and Christopher Jones as our new maintenance painter. We also welcomed administrative office professional Megan Ogletree and legal office professional Veronica Rodriguez. Congratulations go out to Custody Lieutenant Ryan Sullivan, Custody Sergeants Paul Delorier, Todd Johnson, and Eric Alexander for their recent promotions.
My success here is your success. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for all of you. I'm thankful to the sheriff for giving me this chance and the undersheriff. I love you all and thank you.
Lieutenant Clay Turner, Sergeant Michael Sherbarth, and Sergeant Brian Dickey were also recently promoted. We congratulate them and wish them all success in their new and demanding roles. Sheriff Sergeant Matt McFarland was recently chosen as the Deputy of the Year by the Santa Maria Elks Club. Sergeant McFarland, a 21-year veteran, was among several honorees recognized at the Santa Maria Law Enforcement Appreciation Night. Well done, Matt. We're very proud of you and your team. We always appreciate it when any person or group takes time out to recognize and say thank you to law enforcement. One Lompoc resident has taken that concept and run with it. Mike Shelton was fed up with the barrage of negativity towards law enforcement that he has seen recently on the news, and he wanted a way for members of the public to instead show their appreciation.
These folks are out there protecting and serving us, and I've had the opportunity to go on multiple ride-alongs with the police officers, and boy, it's an eye-opening experience to know that when you lay your head on the pillow every night, what these guys are out here doing to keep us safe. So the whole idea of the Thank a Cop campaign is to get the bumper stickers out and have people wear the buttons and let law enforcement know that, hey, we care.
He hands out bumper stickers and buttons every chance he gets. And he has them on display and available for free at his own business, Vargas Jewelers, and at 14 other businesses in Lompoc. Mike Shelton also presented Thank a Cop plaques to the Sheriff's Office and the California Highway Patrol at a Board of Supervisors meeting in June. To learn more about his campaign, you can go to Thank a Cop Facebook page at facebook.com/Thank a Cop Campaign, Santa Barbara County. Mike, on behalf of all the cops in Santa Barbara County, we thank you for your heartfelt campaign. Well, that's going to do it for this edition of the Roundup. Until next time, thank you for watching, and thank you for supporting the Sheriff's Office as we protect your safety.